Okay. The Doomers. Treasury's no tax on tips proposal excludes illegal activity. Why do they even have to say that? I mean, that should be obvious. Let's see here. Okay. It's kind of funny. I don't usually do this, but I also don't generally get people who send Matterport links in the public live here. I always just think it's entertaining to look at people's random Matterports. Let's do it. So, random Matterport, I will tell you quickly what I feel about this place. Okay, ready? All right, I just opened this up. Random Matterport that somebody gave me. I'm going to tell you everything that I know about this property without knowing anything about this property. Somebody in the public live stream sent me a random freaking link over here. So, the first thing that I noticed is bullnose corners and slightly elevated ceilings. This feels very early 2000s to me. Bullnose corners started going out again, like post 2016, 2018. So this is probably a 2003 to 2008 build, just based on this first image here. I've got the 2-inch faux wood blinds. That's great. Okay, I got 6-panel doors. You know what 6-panel doors tell me? 6-panel doors tell me 2000 to 2010. I've even got it on the front door. I got boob lights over here. Let's frickin' go. I love the boob lights. You see this, the flooring's a little bit on this lighter side. This is very like 90s transition, and brushed nickel is probably an upgrade from the gold. Oh, these cabinets are 2003-ish. I've got tile quartz. Okay, I'm gathering this is a 2003 here. I've got the Ethernet plug. Look at where the Ethernet plug placement is. It's where you would still hang a phone, which is like Al Gore era. This is 2003 for days, my friends. Can lights over here that aren't, flushed out. This is, this is a pretty basic property. The colors are a little dark here. There's not actually much that you have to do to renovate this puppy. I've got, this is probably just a sheet vinyl right here. We've got... this was probably a rental. They painted the hallway semi-gloss, which is disgusting. This whole place needs a paint job. The colors are too dark. The carpet's got to go. That's disgusting. Get rid of that crap. That looks like a replaced vanity, which, man, that's a newer vanity. That's nice. The switches are dirty. I hate that. So you got to clean this crap. Did they not Matterport scan this room because they're embarrassed by it? Okay, whatever. I won't go in that room. Did they do the garage? They did the garage. Okay, it's a finished garage. That's nice. Electrical panel is in here. Okay, interesting water heater venting. All right. So, finished garage. Nasty carpet over here. Honestly, this is a paint and carpet job. You could probably... This is such early 2000s floor plan. I'd be surprised if I'm wrong. But let's take a look. This is a paint and carpet job. I love this because, look, foundation-wise, you're going to be good. Electrical-wise, you're going to be good. The roof, it's probably a 50-year concrete tile roof on the roof. I don't have to worry about anything with this. Look at this. Look at the screws, though. That pisses me off. The bottom left one is nasty, and the other three are all, like, in different angles. Like, straighten that crap. How hard is it? Damn, I hate that. I think this was a rental. You know, that looks like your classic rental grade smoke detector somebody threw in. It's not, it's been replaced. It's been updated since the 90s. I'm telling you, 2003. That's what I'm feeling here. That light fixture is so 03. And what the hell is this panel? That's disgusting in this jacuzzi tub. We didn't really see these much anymore, the jacuzzi tubs. So, that panel, though, why is it so yellowed? Just sun faded. So, yeah, this is... Simple paint and carpet job here. Oh yeah, that's a 90s closet right there. Man, this could be, not with the bullnose corner, I don't think this could be a 99 to 2003, and I'm leaning towards 2003. So the linoleum over here. Arched window. Okay. I mean, this is an easy, I like this. If you got this at a good price with the missing, the broken light bulbs in various different places, it looks like it was a rental. There's not much you have to do here. It's hard to get screwed on this. This is an easy kind of property to buy. You do paint and carpet and it's over. So maybe late 90s, but man, if this was late, the only thing that's got me thinking late 90s is that tub, man. That tub pushes me to late 90s, which pisses me off. Where was it? This jacuzzi tub. Come on. Where was it? Here it is. This is the only thing. Oh, and this, by the way, you could clean this up. You could clean this up really nicely. So, but there's like nothing you have to do here. Cheap rental. I would put this at, I'd put into this, less than 20, ideally less than $15,000. Paint. You don't even have to do new flooring. Just do interior paint, $7,000, $8,000, and throw down some new carpet, maybe updated sheet linoleum. You don't have to refloor the whole thing. It's good enough. Forget about it. That's my take. So that tub, late 90s, a lot of early 2000s elements. Monteva, let's see where this puppy is. So this is an Oakley, California property. And, oh, that's nice. Great curb appeal. Nothing you have to do here. Wow, 2005. Let's go. Okay, so the tub got an extra datedness, but a lot of the elements just nailed it there. The tub felt late 90s, but everything else that we said throughout the video, the 6-panel doors, the bullnose corners, the recessed lights, the kitchen, everything was screaming early 2000s. I went for, 03 was kind of what I mentioned many times here. 05 build. You see this outside, nice. This is a different property. Oh, that's a totally different property. What the hell? Okay, so, I don't know. When was this sucker built? Does anybody know? Where the hell is the link for it? Whatever. But anyway, this gives you my quick little reaction on this property.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 There's one stock that is about to skyrocket. You probably have heard of it. It's Spotify, SPOT. It's a big stock. It is very dependent on consumer buying appetite, and that appetite does appear to be intact. The ticker we want to look at when we look at Spotify, you've also heard of it, it's Netflix, NFLX. Let's look at these two tickers. Let's talk about what they do, and let's talk about the risk factors for Spotify, as well as the growth story. This is a big stock. Don't normally talk about stocks this big, except when they're about to break out. So let's jump in to the analysis. This is Spotify right here, SPOT. It's at this important 730 level, and if I zoom out on a yearly chart, there is blue skies up above 800. So 800 is going to be a massive psychological level. Now, we'll jump back into some technicals here as far as when to buy it based on the numbers, the stock price. But there is some controversy, okay? If you've heard of Neil Young pulling his music from Spotify, other artists have pulled their music from Spotify, and it was based on Daniel Ek, the Spotify CEO's military investments, okay? Sounds very similar to the controversy around Palantir. Has that had an effect on Palantir's stock price? No, but it's worth mentioning. He did invest $600 million in a German defense technology firm. Of course, it's German. Peter Thiel's German. Peter Thiel is part of the PayPal mafia, and now the Palantir, and now the Trump mafia. It just keeps getting more and more worldly. So look, these are the recent earnings, and we're going to jump back into the chart again, because everything we do on this channel is saying, hey, here's a chart. We could know nothing about this logo. We could know nothing about Spotify and still say, wow, okay, this has built up a base for a few months and now it's turning up. It's not super extended from this green line. It's only 15% from this 200-day moving average. And that's generally a safe place to buy a stock before it's overextended. If you want to see an overextended stock, take a look at something like, if not SanDisk, which I'm unable to spell right now, Bloom Energy is an example of some stock I would never buy right now. It's 200% up from that green line. You can see it on the chart, but it never hurts to have that indicator, which is come by default on Robinhood. Now, Spotify, besides that $800 whole level, there could be a reaction at that level. If you zoom out to the 5-year, this thing has rocketed up since early 2023 after nearly every stock went down in 2022. And this is October of 2020 on the 5-year. But if we really zoom out, this company actually only listed in 2018. So it's only within the past couple of years that it's had this massive growth from 100 to 700. Monster growth, almost similar to Monster Energy, which is not MSTR, but that was the largest move on the entire stock market, is Monster Energy, an energy drink. And Spotify is also in that category of a consumer good. I know it sounds basic to talk about a company that we all know and love, but take a look at this. Oh my God, right? This is Monster Energy. This is back in 2006. But even if you look at the time Spotify joined the stock market in 2018, this is still a double on Monster. Of course, with a tech company, you get even more exponential moves. Okay, not a double, but a 900% move, an 8x, whatever it is a lot. So those are the levels. And this earnings reaction was pretty solid. This is where the comparison with Netflix comes in. Netflix kind of recovered, but initially it did sell off on that earnings reaction, okay? So if Netflix can turn up, Spotify also will turn up. Netflix is a bigger company, but I do think right now, given this curl up and volume trailing off, the moving averages being very close to one another, which is an indicator of the days on the chart being very compressed, I think Spotify is the play over a stock like Netflix, which is kind of chopping around and only moves 2% a day. This is average daily range. So that's Spotify. And the reasoning to buy it, not necessarily that earnings, okay? Because the earnings did have a net loss, but there were some promising pieces of information, user growth and record free cash flow. Okay. I don't think that you need to dive into anything in detail here unless you were a growth investor, a venture investor. This is a publicly traded company, so we can look at the monthly active users and say they increased, and that's great. We can say the premium subscribers increased 10%. That's great. But really all we need to do is look at the chart and say, well, there's nothing too glaring here. The US dollar negatively affecting revenue is a factor that is unique to this company because it's not headquartered in the US, even though it's a publicly traded ticker. So that's something to be aware of. But this is basically the number we want to look at, 4.2 billion in revenue. And if there is any significant controversy, that will reflect in the revenue. And so far, it hasn't, okay? Netflix is the best company to look at in terms of stocks that are going to perform. And if they perform, Spotify is going to perform as well. We know about Apple Music. We know about Amazon Music. But those are small pieces of the stock appreciation for Amazon or for Apple. So it's really just Spotify that is operating as a near monopoly business. And all we have to worry about is there going to be any major controversy, which so far these have been token controversies, kind of like drinking bottled water at a bar. It's not going to put the bar out of business, okay? So all we have to really figure out is, are there going to be any big pieces of news that hurt Spotify? And there hasn't been. They have a multi-year global partnership with Sony. The record labels like Spotify now. They've turned the corner. They have $4 billion in revenue. And they're growing monthly active users, both free users and paid users. So it's hard to bet against this company. It's easy to think that, hey, the fact that I use this company means that it must be good. And that's a Peter Lynch approach that is not incorrect, but can lead an investor astray. So they are adding podcast video and clips, but it's not really about little product updates that might get power users of Spotify excited. All we really have to figure out as investors is, of all the stocks in the market, why pick this one? This just so happens to be a time where this stock, that the product is loved by a lot of people, also is at a point on the chart, meaning there's been a lot of buying and selling, agreeing upon this price, and there's more supply, more demand than supply. I'm thinking about supply of music. There's more demand than supply, means this is going to go up. So we got to not be wedded to what this company does, even though it's fun to talk about and exciting. You could say the same thing about the monster chart on about a 5-year time scale. It's been pretty choppy, but you didn't have to know that Monster was making people super stoked to know that if a stock goes sideways, starts to break out, or even at a better spot would be kind of a compressed time period like this one where it starts to break out, there are opportunities to buy. It's never easy to get positioned in a stock like this where it goes sideways for, in this particular case, this was 1.5 years. But you don't have to worry about what time scale this is. You just have to say, if a company has a range up and down that is a lot and then suddenly is less, that means that price level is getting agreed upon. And you don't necessarily know if it's getting agreed upon, indicating that the price is about to go up or about to go down. But what you do know is that this gives you an opportunity to get in without it chopping around like it was in this time period before it picks a direction. Because you can see as soon as it picked a direction here, it just went, okay? And that's how we invest as investors. We pick a spot, we risk $1, and then we make 10. And you know what? Sometimes you're not going to be right and you're going to lose that $1. But when you get those movements where you make $10 per share as opposed to losing 1, those really pay for a lot of losses. So that's a little bit of a reminder of what we're up to here. This is the chart. This is the time frame. This is a daily time frame. Yours might say 1 day on your broker. That's totally cool. I just use the 24 hours so I can see what it does overnight, which doesn't matter on most big stocks, but does matter on some little stocks. And if you like this information, you like talking about this, maybe you've got some stocks you want to talk about in a community, head over to stockscommunity.com. You can join for $25 right now and get a 7-day trial. If you use the discount code 25, that's 25, you will get 25% off that trial period payment. So it's super reasonable welcome offer to get started. Try it out. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that button to get notified of future stock ideas. And I will see you in the next one.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 Let's jump into a little more talk about
Property. I lost
the
link.
market.
Oh, let me go to history. Oh, here we go. What's the... A lot of talk about the Kimmel thing. Maybe we gotta go into some of that. On a sea of displaced. Man, every single day it's more and more killings in Gaza. It's just so sad. Kim Jong-un declares AI military drone development a top priority. You know, that doesn't make me feel happy. That doesn't give me the good feels. That gives me the bad feels. State sponsor of terror. All right. Reuters. Okay, we knew that. What else we got? Disney came out. Man, everything. Ethiopian airspace violated by Russian jet. Well, as Donald Trump said, Putin has disappointed him. You know, we thought we were friends. Global economy takes Trump shock in stride for now. Yeah, that is true. Axios. AOC's decision, run for president or Senate. Man. Oh, man. No. I don't even want to click on it. I'm going to click on it. Save it for later. Okay. All right. What else here? Quiet in terms of news day. I mean, there are things that we'll talk about, but nothing like freakish. And we'll look at what the suits are saying in just a moment. Here's our spread. Okay. Good move here on CoreWeave. And the breakout push on Tesla continues. SoFi, look at it. Psychological level of 30 is probably keeping this back. Yes, Palantir over 180. Let's go. And what else is going on here? The real estate sector down a bit under yields. That's expected. That's what we said. Ooh, Symbiotic.
CoreWeave is still interesting as a buy, even though it's started to go.
Oh, let's trade desk. Okay. All right. And then where's Enphase sit these days? Enphase sits still under 40. Okay. All right. Let me see what some of the suits are saying. I'll pull the Tesla here. And then let's see what some of the suits have for us. All right, so let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, Fedka. Okay, so I will jot some notes down. Should there be any here? All right. The Federal Reserve decision Wednesday to resume rate cuts finally let small caps off the leash. History shows that value shares of smaller companies benefit most when borrowing costs fall. Okay, let's write this down. Doomers, small caps. Small caps unleashed by a Fed's rate cut resumption. Okay, when two words modify one, thou add hyphen. Okay. So, let's see here. Consider this chart. Stocks and bonds are split on economic outlook, with equities looking too complacent about the probabilities of a recession. Well, of course. The stock market is not pricing in a recession, right? So, I'll say this here. Doomers say stock market is...
Okay. Let's jump into some motivation. Here we go. This Windows laptop is getting there. Sometimes it needs a little patience for sure. Should be able to play a video though.
What's up, YouTube? Listen, family, I got some heat for you guys today, so make sure you tap in. Watch this video all the way to the end. As always, please make sure you like and subscribe. Help this video get at least 1,000 likes. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. Man, listen, we just had the rate cuts, okay? You need to understand the significance of that and what does that mean, all right? Simply put, if you had a high yield savings account, if you had a CD, if you had an interest-bearing account, if you was getting 4%, it's going to go down to 3.85%. Let me know if that's understood, okay? I want to keep everything simple because so many people try to make stuff overly complicated. I want you to know, okay? And so this is the beginning of more future rate cuts, so rates will go down. But listen to this, that means you can borrow more money with a better and lower interest rate. That also means that for us in the stock market. Don't never confuse Wall Street with Main Street. They're two different worlds. You ever heard of the upside down? They're two different worlds. Okay, so just a real quick note. Wall Street gonna go crazy off of the rate cuts. Okay, so the stocks I'm gonna talk to you guys
That's
about
a good
today.
point, though. You don't
Couple
get
of
as
them I
much
got for you
interest on
guys
your
are gonna go crazy.
checking account.
And overall, the stock market will go crazy. But even though real life,
Yeah, they're like the
bad.
opposite.
Let me know if that's understood. Okay, this is why you gotta get it out the mud. You gotta get it out the market. Okay, guys, so you can take it back to Main Street and you can take care of your family. You can start the process of getting out the corporate plantation. You can put the right things in place. Okay, now let's get in our bag. All right, listen. If you've been with me, you already know. I remember them crashing this stock. They did this. Let me real quick. This is CrowdStrike, ticker symbol CRWD. If you ever want to know how I hit or how I helped you guys hit UNH out the park, because this was my first example. Last year, everything they did to UNH, they did to CrowdStrike. So I already knew, like, man, if I need to help somebody make $1 million or 100K, when I saw them do, remember I kept telling you guys, UNH going to crash to 260. So, but how did I know it was going to recover? Because everything UNH did, the market do the same stuff. You ever, as an athlete, you ever heard of a copycat league? You ever see the team that win the championship, NBA or NFL? Do you notice the next year, every team try to build their roster like the winning team, or they try to run the same plays? The market, meaning Wall Street,
Buffett
do the
bought
same
it.
thing. So listen to this. CrowdStrike last year was UNH. So this is how Coach knew to give y'all that play. If you wonder, like, man, how did he know they was going to do this? I already seen this game before. It's like watching film. I already seen this movie. I already seen it 100 times. I've been doing this for 15 years, okay? So listen, guys. CrowdStrike up $57 today. CrowdStrike gonna get busy because with AI and with everything that's going to manifest the next 2 to 5 years, they're gonna need something to fend against it. And CrowdStrike is that company, okay? They're well positioned. They're already, again, a household name, but they are a young pup in the game, but they're already well respected, okay? Put CrowdStrike on your list, okay? So, for example, yes, you can get it here and ride it up, you know what I'm saying, from this point, but you already know if you rock with me, pullbacks is what we look for.
That's a good way to
Those
put
make
it.
the best entries, okay? If this went up $57
They
or 12%
are a
today,
security
then
company
you want
that
to
can
let
be
this come
used to
back
fight
down.
AI.
You know what I'm saying? To like something lower than 502. Okay, I can tell you 450. I can tell you 430. All that kind of jazz. Okay, but if you can get it lower, you have to understand this is going to be one of those ones, one of those winners. Okay, my next winner is this. If you've been rocking with me, this ain't new to you. Okay, now Meta, I told you they are. So there's 4 stocks that you can make 100K in a day with. Tesla being one, okay? Meta is the other. AVGO, before the stock split, used to be the third one, okay? Listen to this. Meta, I keep telling y'all. Remember when Netflix was 700 and I told you it was going to 1,000? This is the same. So the market do the same thing over and over. I gave you UNH because I already had CrowdStrike. I seen it the year before. 2025 was UNH. It was 2024 was CrowdStrike. Netflix was 700 and it's about to go to 1,200, 1,300, 1,500. Meta is 700. This is all technical, guys, okay? Just a heads up while I'm talking like this. It's 700. It's bubbling up, okay? It's taking its precious time, but this is going to be $1,000. Those of you that can buy shares, you get shares of this. And if you can do a 2-prong approach for me, you get the call option on this as well, okay? This takes time to get to 1,000, so at least give yourself 3 to 6 months. I'm leaning more toward the 6-month side, and if you can go a year, then you have more than enough time. Your share is going to cook for you. So if nothing else, everything I say, at least invest or AKA buy shares of this, okay? This is Meta. These are 2 that's going to change your life. These are 2 that can change your life. These are 2 that will change your life. Don't sleep on Meta. With the way the world is going, Meta is going to be best in class, first in class. Their AI going to be better than everybody, even though other entities might get the love. Go to Facebook and try to run an ad and watch how on point they have made it. They already implement
I do
all
want
the
to
stuff
try
with
the
AI.
Meta
They already
glasses.
on it. Google will be next, but again, Wall Street ain't gonna tell you guys that, okay? The suits on Wall Street won't tell you guys that. Get Meta, okay? What else Coach got for you? Netflix is in here. Look at Netflix sitting at 1,200. Remember I told you when this was 700. The same speech I'm giving for Meta, I gave this same I Have a Dream Martin Luther King speech for Netflix when it was 700 though. That's the one thing about me, guys. I'm gonna always tell you about assets before they pop. We ain't gonna run on here and after something I'm already did his thing. I tried like Lyft, you know what I'm saying? Palantir when it was $8, Palantir when it was 20, Uber when it was $20. I try to tell you about stuff because it makes no benefit for you guys if you in it way late. So this is going to 1,500, but you should already be in this with me at 700. Does that understood? But from here, it's going to go from 1,200 to 1,000. That's the new range. So you're like, Coach, where can I get this at? You can get it at 1,200. You can get it at 1,100. And if you can get it at 1,000, if you see that again, you have to know our target is 1,300 to 1,500. Let me know if that's understood. We already had it at 700 though. Okay. And the same thing, just go study the two charts, put them side by side so that you can know this move already happened. So Meta gonna make a future move. So you can just look at this chart to see what Meta will do. Okay. Now, mind you, it won't go in the same exact manner in terms of how it is done because earnings, like for instance, Meta go crazy on earnings. Netflix always crash on earnings. So you need to know the nuances, but I want you to see the pathway. That's more what I'm talking about. UNH and CrowdStrike are nothing alike, but they had the same exact catalyst that crashed and knocked the stock off a cliff. Both of them rebounded. Both of them changed lives if you know how to trust the process, okay? Put Netflix on your radar for me, okay? It's at 1,200.
Netflix did
We got
crash
a
on earnings in
$1,300 price
Q2.
tag. You always need
For
something to
sure.
shoot for. 1,300 is what we're looking for next, okay? They had the Crawford and Canelo fight. I was at the fight, so y'all gotta let me know. Was it buffering too much? Was the streaming acting up, or did it come through good? They're gonna start putting more and more NFL games on there. They're making the right move. They starting to have recommendations when you go on the app. They kind of know you and your preference to what you want to watch based on previous things you watched. They're listening to your conversations. Meta is listening to your conversations too. So you ever say something, guys, and be like, man, I just was talking about that. How did that pop up on my news feed? How did that pop up in my email? Okay, so Netflix is listening to you and Meta is listening to you, okay? Understand where the world is going so this stuff don't trip you out, all right? What else Coach got? All right, I got Lyft. Check it out. If you have made money with Lyft, let's go. All right, now listen. This play is already up. My play is up 90%, 92%, okay? So, Coach, where can we get in at? The target was 20 as number one. Next target is 30, okay? So we're looking for $30 next, okay? So that might take 3 months from now. That might take 3 weeks from now, okay? So look, these
I don't know about
levels
Lyft. Lyft
right
is
here,
a sleeper
you see
pick.
21.96, anywhere here or below. Here, 20, 19.59. Let me know if these numbers are making sense to you, okay? If you say, Coach, where can I get in at? If I want to take this to 30 now, okay, that's what I want you to have it. It's still going to change your life, okay? If you get it from here to 30, okay, lower the better. Always remember that for me, okay? Guys, put these at least 2 plays on your radar. Don't forget about our Lyft play. When you hit the target, pat yourself on the back, job well done, and get up out of there, okay? I have way more plays for you guys, okay? So I'm not trying to sit and... So listen, SoFi was a banger, okay? But SoFi took forever. I ain't gonna never overhype nothing up. Yes, SoFi could. We got SoFi at $4 and $7. SoFi is $28, okay? We changed a whole bunch of lives of SoFi. But what I can do with NVIDIA, Netflix, Tesla...
Here we go,
I can do the same exact thing but you get what I'm saying? Much faster. So Lyft is going to move like SoFi, okay? And so once I hit 30, I'm not about to be sitting in it for 2 years for it to get to 40. Does that make sense? Yes, it's going to get there. So I want you to hold your shares just like you did for SoFi, okay? This is good for you guys, but I want you to learn how to see profit, take profit, and jump in another fast car, okay? Meaning other things that is ready to move. Like, for instance, if you rock with me, then you will know about CrowdStrike, and then you can make a $50 move in one day, okay? Where Lyft didn't do nothing today. It's okay, but I just want you to know the difference. In the market, there's always a bull market somewhere. I need to teach you guys how to go fishing the right way so you know that, all right? Listen, we're going to get up out of here. Everybody be in the Discord first thing in the morning. Everybody else, consider joining the money team for this week. If you're going to join us for this upcoming week, please join by Sunday night so that I know that you locked, loaded, and ready to go with us, all right? We make videos like this every day, so if you like this one, make sure you check out the next one.
Always
Remember,
a bull
most people see
market
the end
somewhere.
result. If you consider the journey, do me a favor. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys grab some free stocks using my link below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
All right, let's jump into a quick breakdown before we tee up Felix here. Here we go. I do think this company does have a lot of room to go here. This is the 50-day moving average. Definitely like it. Smaller company. It's not quite a drone company, but definitely some major moves. It's definitely Trump linked. And that happened recently. If we look at this, September 12th. It's the White House's program to help develop flying vehicles. It's pretty interesting. And they did confirm their participation. So that is definitely notable. And that was on September 12th. So if we look at this chart right there, this thing has been going sideways, went down on earnings, but there was some interest. So if Trump likes flying cars, who are we to say that we don't like them? Right? I mean, it's as simple as that. I certainly do like the chart. The chart looks great. Again, that earnings is kind of whatever, but pretty much every earnings was whatever in 2025. So the fact that it held up at all is a good sign, and that executive order is definitely a good sign. Archer is not totally lagging either. It's definitely moving up as well, so it's worth looking at. Joby is a little bit more extended from the 200-day, about 60%, but at the same time, I think it's a more favorable spot, risk reward wise, for sure. And if this thing goes, it's gonna go. whereas Archer is just now breaking over the 200-day. Plus, there's all this resistance for Archer. I mean, that's a lot of resistance. So it's just not likely to be Archer. In terms of analysis too, we got that over here, which we can jump into. Toyota investment is pretty major. But this eVTOL integration program, like this test program is what it is a pretty good sign. Just like Eric Trump sitting on the board of, what was he sitting on the board of? He had 300,000 shares of that drone company, yeah, UMAC. This is kind of similar to that situation, where even though Trump's not on the board of this company or any vertical takeoff aircraft company, it's still a pretty solid vote of confidence. So let's jump into a little breakdown here, guys. This is an important time for this stock. I can't think of a better stock to buy at this exact time. And that's the name of the game with this channel. Here we go.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 This Trump-backed stock is about to skyrocket, in my opinion. The ticker is JOBY, Joby, and Trump has approved this company to be in his vertical takeoff aircraft testing program. So there's some nuance there. He's not an investor in the stock. He did invite, and this company accepted that offer to take part in that testing program. We already know he's excited about drones. Let's take a look at what this means for the stock. Here's the move. This news came out September 12th, and you can see there's already buying activity, a lot of volume down here. Significant volume. That's over 60 million, multiple days. So billions of dollars being traded here. And if we look over to the companion ticker, Archer Aviation is also getting over this green line, which is a big deal. This is the 200-day moving average. So it just indicates that this thing is starting to go up. And the reason I'm not interested in this is it's all choppy, okay? So Joby, not choppy, curling up. And we can see this stock knows how to make massive moves. It's at an important level here. It's that 15 level, which is this red line. That's the 50-day moving average. 50. If you had nothing but two lines on your charts, the 50-day moving average and the 200-day, the green one, are pretty solid lines to have. If you don't even have those, this thing came down, started to turn up right at this pivot point where it was testing this price, and now it's turning up and testing this line. It's going to test here as well. So if it can hold 15 and change, that's a buy, in my opinion. let's look at what this program is. They like to come up with acronyms in the government. Point is, Trump executive order allows eVTOL aircraft like Joby's to begin operating before receiving FAA certification. So that's a vote of confidence. Joby did confirm participation. And they're a real company. Toyota has invested almost $1 billion in Joby. Uber sold a division to Joby in an acqui-hire. Joby got some strong Uber employees, and I don't know how important this Delta investment is because it's small compared to that Toyota investment. But brand-wise, Delta is definitely a company you want to have on your website to talk to future investors. This is Richard Branson's company. I'm sure he's stoked on this type of technology, but I think the most important thing for Joby is making sure this is safe, okay? There have been some test flights that didn't go perfectly. That's why they are test flights. The competitor is Archer, but we just looked at the chart and they're both moving up. So I think this is the better bet right now. But Archer looks strong as well. This whole industry is pretty groundbreaking. Electric vertical takeoff aircraft is going to require a lot of specialized parts, skilled labor. This is another supply chain snafu that could happen. So it's not easy. We know this. You don't hear about a lot of successful aircraft flight startup companies that make it. But look, they're disclosing their risk factors. They're progressing through the FAA regulation. Trump is on board. He wants them to succeed. The stock is moving up for that reason. And this one other company, EVTL, in terms of relevant publicly traded tickers to look at, it's had some activity here, but there's not really the buying activity that makes this worth looking at. And this has just gone sideways. So Joby is the no-brainer pick in this category. I don't know of Chinese progress in this development. EH is mentioned as well in the same breath, but again, the chart looks like it's doing nothing, and it is an ADR, okay? Asian Depository Receipt. So if you are investing in those, you always take your life into your own hands, because there are other ADRs that do moves like this, where not only do they just go down, 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 but they also have spikes and then sell off immediately. So that is nothing you want to be involved with on the long side. Joby looks solid. Archer is the key competitor. And look, I don't know where their ultimate customers are going to be if they get some Saudi investment. That's great, particularly in the early part of development. Another example of this type of strategy is Rich Tech Robotics, ticker symbol RR, committed to selling to China their service industry robots. Do we want an American company selling to China robot prototypes? No. Do we want them to have some sales in order to develop into a fully formed company American investors like us want to invest in that has hundreds of millions of revenue? Yes. So you have to get started somewhere, and Joby did that. They acquired Blade's passenger business. You might have come across a news article about these Blade helicopters. Those were pretty trendy, and Joby is the company who actually executed and gobbled them up. So this is the real deal. This initiative by the Trump administration is a huge, huge boon to the stock. And we're going to keep watching for more developments, but right now, this is the time to take a look. I'm not going to tell you to buy because this is not financial advice, but it's my best idea right now. If you like these ideas, if you want to chat about stocks, about what I'm talking about on here with all these moving averages and supply and demand and volume and this broker, this charting software I'm using, you might have never seen anything like it. Head over to stockscommunity.com. You can join for $25 for 7 days. Give it a shot. If you think it's worth it, I'll see you over there. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that button to get notified on my next best idea. And I will see you in the next one.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 Let's jump into a little bit of Felix. See what he's up to here.
If you missed Intel's 50%
Felix
surge
with
in
the
the last few
voice.
days, or MP Materials' 175% surge since May, what I'm about to show you could be your second or even third chance at life-changing profits. There is a $1.2 billion company with $3.4 billion in potential government contracts that's flying under the radar. So while everyone was watching Intel jump 30% yesterday, this company quietly gained just 26% this year. And that's just the warm-up act. So my promise to you is that by the end of this video, you know exactly why this stock with ticker LEU, so you know hostaging here, could deliver even bigger returns than MP Materials or Intel, and how to position yourself before Wall Street catches on. My name is Felix Preen. I'm an ex-investment banker who called the MP Materials government play before it happened, literally 28th of April. Check out my YouTube videos on that. Of course, it is all because of this guy who does all the research around here. This is Albert. I've made it my business to spot opportunities before they explode. And when I told you about MP Materials and that they were next on the 28th of April here, that's the little line here, that was the entry point, a lot of you said thank you.
He is pretty good.
So I thought I'd make another video. Now, even
So is his
better,
dog.
my gift to you is not just this video, but a free workbook that explains everything in this video and much, much more. And for serious investors, and I really mean only serious investors, I will do one better. The biggest needle mover is apparently chewing this keyboard. No, seriously, the biggest needle mover for investors is to learn when to sell. Half of all your losses come from selling too early. The other half come from not selling. And the profits you're missing out on because you're selling way too early is just a whole nother story. So I will run a free live training just on selling because it is the biggest needle moving skill that you can acquire in under 2 hours. It's free. It's on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's at felixfriends.org/training. You can grab yourself a free ticket for that event and join this naughty cat and myself there. Now, yesterday we saw something extraordinary. Intel shares soared 30% in one day on the announcement that NVIDIA is investing in Intel. $5 billion. Now, this is not a coincidence because the
Facts.
Trump administration has taken a 10% stake for the US government already. That, by the way, is now already up 50% gains. Good investors up there, right? In
Joey's
the
having quite
political
the
space.
move.
So what's it all about? There is a pattern here.
Gotta be
There is a
core weave.
predictable pattern that we can apply to other stocks and other sectors to potentially make similar gains. I'm not promising you outcomes as in financial advice. I'm not even telling you to buy the stock. I'm telling you, use it as the basis of your research because you might find something there. So what's the pattern? You basically need a couple of things to come together. You need a national security angle. That's item number one. You need a government investment. That's item number two. And you add those two things together, and what you come out with, life-changing returns. And how many of you are kicking yourself for missing MP materials, for example? How many of you watched that video and didn't do anything about it? You didn't look it up, you didn't look at the chart, you didn't do any research. You never even decided a no or a yes. You just made no decision. That's what most people do, by the way. I'm not trying to make you feel bad about yourself. It just means you're part of most people. Now, what I want to do here is I want to pull you out of most people, and I will pull everybody up and just everybody have a better life, right? Now, what did Trump say about this? He says, I love seeing their stock price go up, making the USA richer. But the reality is, there is a lot more.
I don't disagree. National security, huge budget, government investment, unprecedented. You just can't beat it. Now, let's jump into a little breakdown here of one AI stock that is backed by NVIDIA and is about to skyrocket, in my opinion. You never know what NVIDIA is going to do. They did just invest $5 billion in Intel. And this company that they've invested $6 billion in could be a massive mover. Here we go. Let's go.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 There's one stock that NVIDIA has invested in that could break out in the next few days. NVIDIA just announced their investment of $5 billion into Intel. You saw what happened to Intel on that news. There is a company that NVIDIA invested $6 billion into. That company is CoreWeave, CRWV, and the chart looks good. I like it. Let's jump into what exactly it looks like so we can get an idea of where to jump in. This is the spot, $127. It's running up against this 100-day moving average. You don't need that on your chart, but it never hurts when you do see it on there. There's a lot of reasons to buy it here going back to July. It's hit this level, and there's always a level when you look to the left to May. So there's a reason it's looking like it does, brushing up against, wicking back, brushing up against, wicking back, brushing up against. Wicking back, it could go. This thing knows how to move, and there are fundamental reasons to buy it. So we're not just acting like machines here. We are doing our research. NVIDIA did invest $5 billion in Intel, and this $6 billion deal they have with CoreWeave, it's a big deal, okay? It's not new. It's important I say that. It's not new. However, what it means is NVIDIA purchases unused cloud computing capacity from CoreWeave through 2032. That's a long runway. That's 7 years from now. NVIDIA had previously partnered with CoreWeave. So there's definitely interest in CoreWeave's technology, and they are making moves acquiring companies to basically get the smartest AI minds on their team and making an offering that developers can use. And when you strengthen that developer ecosystem, you get that grounds swell grassroots adoption of their technology. Think GitHub adoption before GitHub was acquired by Microsoft. This is a good sign, their focus on the developer community. And we did see what happened to Core Scientific, ticker symbol CORZ, when there was talk of a $9 billion all-stock deal to boost CoreWeave's data center capacity. So basically what happened was CoreWeave 8 cores. This was the run-up to that announcement. Since then, Cores has actually reclaimed to all of that hype, which is impressive. And NVIDIA is invested in CoreWeave. So this is the second biggest fish. NVIDIA is the biggest fish. But we don't want to buy NVIDIA right now. At least I don't. It needs to digest and go sideways. This is not surprising after this massive run since April of over 100%. So I think we're looking in the right place here. This is just a younger company. It has had a massive percent move, but it's digested based and shown staying powder here. Look at all of this volume that came in here holding this price up. This is a lot of shares changing hands, okay? So there is some space up to about 150. You can risk, a few bucks, maybe $5, and make 20 or 30. And of course, there's huge opportunity if it gets above there. This is a fresh chart. This IPU is as of March. So I have talked about CoreWeave before on this channel very recently, and it just continues to be interesting, not only with what they actually do, but given the recent Intel news, it just further cements what can happen when NVIDIA makes a huge investment. And this investment, $6 billion, is a lot of money. With NVIDIA's investment in Intel, basically they are showing that Intel is still relevant. And that's important because we saw the increase in Intel stock price. Imagine how a company that's a dinosaur like Intel, if it can go up that much, imagine what a new AI company can go up based on an NVIDIA agreement or partnership or news in the future, okay? So it's not that this is a new agreement with CoreWeave. However, Intel is definitely in bed with NVIDIA compared to NVIDIA's competitors. And the more NVIDIA wins, the more NVIDIA's investments are going to win. Now, Do I know when this company, CoreWeave, the recent IPO as of March, is going to skyrocket again? No. No one knows. But we do know that building infrastructure for AI workloads is the hottest sector in the entire market right now. And there's no better stock to be positioned in than a recent IPO that is building in that space, making acquisitions of the smartest developers and the most advanced sector of the economy. And you know what? They are making money. So this isn't just a science project, okay? 200% year over year increase. They don't have a lot of margin right now, but again, they're a fresh IPO. And the net loss is not so bad, you know. This is a ton of money they're spending, but we know that NVIDIA has agreed to buy their unused capacity. So a couple few million for CoreWeave, billion, I should say, is a lot. However, NVIDIA agreed to purchase any unsold capacity, and they already have an insane amount of revenue backlog, 30 billion, which dwarfs their expenditures. Guidance is solid, actually above earlier projections. Companies who raise guidance are generally confident in what they have to offer. And if ChatGPT continues to grow, which it seems to be, it's the top app in the App Store that's free, and OpenAI just had an agreement with Oracle to the tune of $40 billion. I can't think of a reason to bet against CoreWeave, despite some short seller ideas questioning if basically the AI boom is a bubble. That's what this is. We know that the AI boom is fueled by debt. The question really is, what company, what horse do you want to back? And there's a lot of companies that you could back. I don't know that you want to look at every single Business Insider short report. All you really need to know is, look, they're backed by NVIDIA. They have $30 billion in revenue backlog. The chart looks amazing. If there is some risk, you can just hop out. I don't think there's a lot of chance that it's going to make a move like this again. This was directly after earnings. So I think it's pretty safe to say that this is the best spot to get in. And it's been a while since I could have said that. You can see I actually shorted it back here. So I'm not against short selling for a very defined time period, but that was at a time when it was incredibly extended. Right now, it's not extended. There's a ton of volume. That Intel deal where NVIDIA invested $5 billion is a huge positive vote of confidence to this AI infrastructure sector. And I can think of no better company than CoreWeave to benefit from all of this hype. Hype is a good way to make money when you pay attention to your portfolio on at least a weekly basis and get out when the hype train is over. So if you like these stock ideas, if you want to chat, head over to stockscommunity.com. You can join for 7 days for $25. Try it out. If you think it's worth it, I'll see you over there. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, it helps you get notified on future videos as soon as they are released. And I will see you in the next video.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 This is Sam Putnam.